Duelists, Dinomorphia is still the best deck. Let's go! All right, here we are on the play in the No Spell Festival. They gave us Dinomorphia, and clearly not as good as my list, but we'll take it because this is still very powerful. Let's Teretsia, get that domain onto the field, and set another 3. Opponent's going to go for that D-Shifter. That's a little sussy, and then give us the Gamma Seal, Kaiju off our Teretsia. Extremely rude. Going for Alpha Master of the Beasts here. Attempt to trigger and return both back to the hand. What are we doing here? We're going for the Danger, discarding the Danger, which gets banished because of Dimension Shifter. Very powerful turn. Yep, great. Okay, well, let's go to our main phase, and since everything is under Dimension Shifter, let's just go back to the end phase. We can't trigger Dinomorphia Domain. We need to send things from the deck straight to the graveyard. So we'll just pass. We're not really in any hurry here. Our opponent's not doing anything. They're just going to pass it back to us. Who put this crappy Pendulum card in my deck? Never mind. Let's activate Domain. Best feeling in the game. Getting Max Seed, we don't care. We can easily OTK from here. Let's go Domain and get out our girl, Kentragina, sending, of course, one of Diplos and one of Teretsia. Here's Kentragina. I'm going to go for the Alert right now, get those 2 that I just dumped into the grave back so that I don't have to send another 2 from the deck when I utilize Kentragina to fire Domain again. Trigger both of our Dinomorphias here. Diplos is going to send us a Reversion just to prevent any battle damage, and then Teretsia is going to set a Brute for us just so we have the ability to pop anything our opponent might have done. What we would have done there is we would have went Kentragina into another Domain, get a second Domain. They both would have been 2,000. We would have been able to also normal summon the Archfiend thing. Maybe that had an effect. Attack for between 5 and 6k, and then have a couple interruptions on our opponent's turn. Easy peasy. Dinomorphia, obviously best deck. But why would we only have 1 replay when we can have 2? Twice the fun. Let's go. Dinomorphia on the play again. Obviously going to lead off with the Teretsia. Going to set a Alert from the deck. Since we already have the Domain, we can set the Domain and the Shell as well as the Heavy Storm Duster. We'll be able to get that Ultimate Conductor Tyranno online soon after we activate Domain. Once again, opponent Kaijuing, incredibly rude. Now, opponent's going to be on Crusadia. This deck is all about Link summoning to where arrows point and then boosting up into a big boss monster that can basically just OTK for a bajillion damage in 1 hit. They're going to go Draco, returning back the Maximus. Now they can go up into the Regulus after they add off of the Magus. They've got the Leonis. Here comes the Regulex. We can get the Reclusia back out there. Go into Equimax. Here is their main boss monster, and that looks real nice and royal rare. They have a Kaiju of their own, and they also have the Maximus. Maximus will give some boosties to the Equimax, and Equimax will get additional attack from the things it's pointing to, but luckily I have the Shell. So the Shell comes in, and the Shell says basically once we special summon the Shell, they can only declare attacks on that for the rest of the battle phase. Since the Radiant can't get over it, the Equimax would have to go in for the Shell, and then the Radiant would just clear out the Kaiju, and then we could proceed as normal next turn. Now our opponent uses the effect of Equimax to tribute their Maximus, which says they can negate the effects of any face-up card on the field. Now, unfortunately for them, the token doesn't really have any effects. The effect is tied to the activation of the card, that Dinomorphia Shell. So they're just actually going to pass through the battle phase here. I don't know why they wouldn't clear it out, but they were not able to negate the effects. They still had to attack it, so we were able to stay in the clear. Now, we don't care about these other ancillary Dino cards really in our hand. What we want is the Dinomorphies. Let's go for the Domain. Like I said, best feeling in the game. Send a Diplos, get a Teretsia, get out Kentragina. Now, we're already down at 2k. We're chilling. We can go Alert, bring back the Teretsia and the Diplos, trigger both of those again, as well as have material on field for a second Domain, as triggered by Kentragina. Teretsia's going to get us a Brute. Once again, we need to out that Equimax somehow. We'll send a Sonic just to prevent battle damage on next turn. Activate Kentragina, sending a Teretsia and a Diplos again. We'll put the other Kentragina there in the extra monster zone. Beat over the Kaiju, and then we have the Brute on lock for this turn when we need to out the Crusadia Equimax. Alright, so they're going to special summon another Kaiju as well as get the Leonis in. Leonis is going to trigger, allow this to have 2 attacks during the battle phase as well as get piercing damage. But Equimax is going to come through. They're going to tribute the Leonis that they had, right? It's already served its purpose by giving them piercing battle damage. And they're going to attempt to negate the effects of our face-up card on the field, aka our Brute, which is attempting to resolve here. Now I'm going to get a little bit tricksy and fire that Heavy Storm Duster, destroying my own Dinomorphia Brute. You cannot negate this if it's not face-up on the field when your Chain Link resolves. Brute goes to the graveyard, Equimax fizzles, and now we have the Brute triggering, destroying our Diplos and the Equimax. With that, our opponent goes to attack over our Teretzia, but we have the Sonic engraved to prevent battle damage. Teretzia is unfortunately destroyed, but we are still chilling and can easily get over the Godarla on our turn. We're going to go straight to battle. Crash with the Godarlas. Our opponent's at 68, and conveniently we have just over 7,000 damage, attacking for lethal once again. Say it with me, class. Dinomorphia, best deck.